This episode of Techno Buffalo is brought to you by Squarespace. What is Tizen, and what might it mean for the future of Android running on Samsung handsets? They've got a big event going on at CTIA San Diego in just a couple of weeks. Will we finally see the first Android ice cream sandwich device, Unpacked, at CTIA? And we all know the iPhone 5 is finally coming, set to be launched this coming Tuesday, October 4th. All this coming up right now from the Intel App Up Elements conference in Seattle. It's Techno Buffalo's Rumor Roundup. Hey, what is going on, everybody? I'm Noah Kravitz, editor-at-large for Techno Buffalo, and I am here at the Intel App Up Elements Conference in Seattle, Washington, bringing you this week's installment of Rumor Roundup. This is the Rumor Roundup for the week ending today, Friday, September 30th, 2011. This week's episode of the Roundup on Revision 3 is brought to you by Squarespace. All right, the big news coming out of this conference this week is Tizen. Tizen is what MeeGo used to be, but now Samsung's involved. Huh? Well, it's still a little bit confusing, but basically MeeGo was a Linux-based platform that is probably best known for showing up on Nokia's N9, which was the phone that was released to coincide with Nokia basically announcing, hey, forget MeeGo, forget Symbian, forget all that stuff, we're going with Windows Phone 7. Still, the device, which was shipped to just a select few countries, not including the United States, has gotten rave reviews for its sexy design and the inherent usability and kind of coolness of the operating system. Well, Intel now has a big-time partner in the mobile space in Samsung, and they've used the App Up Elements conference to announce the birth of Tizen. Tizen is a new mobile platform that, it's kind of unclear, but basically it's going to take elements of MeeGo. It might be built on the Samsung Bada OS kernel, kind of unsure what's going on, but the rumor here is that this all, the timing of this was not accidental. Samsung announced that Bada is going open source, and Samsung also just announced they've reached a deal with Microsoft to pay Microsoft $10 per Android phone that they make. It's part of this whole ongoing patent war thing that's threatening to take over the technology world in general. But basically Microsoft claiming that because of patent infringements, they're due a royalty on any Android phone that's sold. And they were asking for 15 bucks a phone. Samsung struck a deal, 10 bucks a phone. And on the same day they announced that, Tizen was also announced. Rumors that the first Tizen phones may be launched as soon as Mobile World Congress next February. So what does this all mean? Could mean nothing, but it could mean that Samsung is trying to roll their own OS, which they already have in Bada, but trying to roll it on a bigger scale and looking maybe to pull back from their Android involvement. With all the patent stuff going on, with the fact that they now have to pay Microsoft royalties, and with everything Google's been doing with Motorola Mobility, buying them, it would stand to reason that a company like Samsung, a company like HTC for that matter, might be looking to say, hey, you know what? We don't know where Google's going with this whole thing with Motorola. We got to make sure we're covered. Let's get another partner. Oh, I don't know, Intel. They're huge. And also, Intel hasn't really done much in the mobile space. MeeGo hasn't exactly set the world on fire. Look for more on Tizen coming later this year with the first alpha release of the platform. And then next year, like I said, February Mobile World Congress, we could see the first Tizen devices, perhaps from Samsung. Speaking of Samsung, they have sent out invites to their next Unpacked event, which will be taking place on October 11th at CTIA San Diego. Our own John Rettinger will be live on the scene at CTIA, bringing you all the news, including whatever Samsung is unpacking. And the rumor, which makes a ton of sense, is that they will be unpacking the Nexus Prime, aka Galaxy Prime, aka the first Android ice cream sandwich device to grace planet Earth with its sweet, sticky goodness. That sounds funny. I had some good ice cream at the Intel party last night. There were sour cherry popsicles with vanilla ice cream in the inside. Really good. Anyway, Samsung's been doing these Unpacked events at all the big mobile shows recently, and also some of them on their own. They did one I was at in Barcelona earlier this year with the Galaxy S2 line. And now it looks like they may be unveiling the Nexus Prime. If you recall, lots of rumors about this phone, the first Android ice cream sandwich phone, really high spec device. Set to launch on Verizon Wireless first, which makes a lot of sense because the other three big US carriers, AT&T, Sprint, and T-Mobile, all have their own Galaxy S2 devices now. Verizon doesn't have one, and that may well be because they're sitting on Prime. Set to be Unpacked, according to the rumors, but I believe them. October 11th in San Diego at CTIA. Stay tuned to Techno Buffalo. Whatever is unpacked there, John Rettinger will have his hands, his eyes, and his video camera on it. So we'll bring it to you. Ice cream. Ice cream sounds good. Hey, I want to take a quick second to thank our friends at Squarespace for sponsoring this episode of Rumor Roundup on Techno Buffalo. Squarespace is an easy way to create a high-profile, high-quality blog, portfolio, or other website. They have easy-to-use tools, all kinds of flexibility for your page layout, social media widgets so you can easily put Facebook, Twitter, other social networking content up on your page. They have a ton of galleries, slideshows you can use, all kinds of templates. It's easy to use, it's click and go, no problem, and the best thing of all is there's no risk because they're offering a free 2-week trial to you, Techno Buffalo viewers. All you have to do is go to www.squarespace.com, use the code TECHNO9, and you get a 2-week free trial and 10% off. I mean, no risk. What could be better? Go to squarespace.com, use the code TECHNO9, T-E-C-H-N-O, and the number 9 to get your free 2-week trial of Squarespace. And finally, the iPhone 5 is almost upon us. Thank goodness we can put these rumors to rest. We love the rumors, but it's time to move on to something else. And China Unicom has come out and said that they believe the iPhone 5 will support 4G in the form of HSPA Plus running at the full 42 megabits per second. Now, this is interesting because in the US, T-Mobile is the only carrier to currently support the full-on HSPA Plus 42. Earlier this week, they launched their first HSPS 42 devices, but T-Mobile looks like they will not be getting the iPhone 5. In fact, a T-Mobile executive posted an open letter recently, this past week, which to me was one of the saddest things I've ever read. It was basically saying, we've told Apple we want it, we support unlocked iPhones, why won't they give it to us? I don't know. Anyway, staying clear from that, but the interesting thing is that China Unicom saying they'll be getting an HSPA Plus 42 iPhone 5, which means that the technology's there for a similar device to run on T-Mobile in the US. And it also speaks to the question, at least in rumorland, about there being an LTE version of the iPhone 5. It looks like probably not. You never know. We are kind of placing bets that there'll be one world version of the iPhone 5. It'll have a dual mode chipset that will support CDMA as well as GSM, 4G implementations on both. At this point, it looks like probably not an LTE version, but I'll tell you what, an LTE iPhone running on Verizon's network in the US, an HSPA Plus 42 iPhone for that matter, running on T-Mobile's network here in the US where it's supported, would be blazing fast, and I personally would like one. So, Tim Cook, if you're listening and you haven't decided yet, there's still a chance. Just roll them out. LTE, HSPA Plus 42, China Unicom, T-Mobile USA, Verizon. Just hit everybody up with them. The more iPhones on the market, the more choices people have, and the more incentive for non-iPhone phone makers to kick their game into high gear. Nexus Prime, ice cream sandwich. We want to welcome, a big welcome, Ty Moss, Ty's iOS help, joining the Rev3 family. We're psyched. This guy has been killing it on YouTube for a long, long time, offering all sorts of iOS-based help, iPhone, iPod Touch, iPad, tips and tricks, hints, jailbreaks, all kinds of cool stuff. And now he's joining Rev3, which is awesome. Ty's iOS help coming to Rev3, hosted by Ty Moss. You can get more information on the show at revision3.com/Ty's iOS help. Boom. Welcome, Ty. Looking forward to all of your iOS goodness coming to Rev3. All right, that's it for now. I got to get back to the conference. Again, Intel App Up Elements here in Seattle. Psyched to be here. I'm speaking on a panel about the latest trends and what's going on in the world of apps, and big news, with the Amazon Fire, Kindle Fire launching earlier this week. It's content is king for sure. Although specs are king too, but really I think content's king. So lots of interesting stuff going on. I'm going to go get ready for the panel. Thanks again to Squarespace for sponsoring this week's episode. Thanks as always to Rev3 for having us. And thanks to Ty, man. Ty Moss. Good to have you on the Rev3 ship. Until next time, I'm Noah Kravitz from Techno Buffalo. Lots more information on all the stories we talked about today, the rumors, everything else going on, and of course the iPhone 4 launch next week over on technobuffalo.com, and 3 times a week, 1, 2, 3, right here on Rev 3. 3, 3, 3. So all I have to remember is 3. Till next time, we'll see you later. Bye-bye. That's, you know, if I'm going to do this on the from the show, may as well, you know, get a little bit of background anyway. Yeah, so, yeah. Right on. All right, I'll see you in a little bit.